I just want to swap to a different screen so you can see what's happening. This is just some of the stuff I've grown since last autumn. These are hydrangea cuttings and hardwood rose cuttings, various things. Some of the tender salvias I've kept in the greenhouse, especially the blue ones, which won't survive a hard frost. But the main workhorse in the greenhouse is my propagator. I have quite a large propagator, and I've just sown some tomato seeds about 3 days ago, but unfortunately I've discovered that I've got mice in the greenhouse, and they somehow managed to climb up and get through the air vents on the side of the propagator, so I've had to close them up. Now, a good tip, if you haven't got a propagator, you can do all these things quite easily by either sowing them in trays. This is a tray full of, well, it was cosmos, but I don't know if you can see the little stumps that are there. Those are what remains of the mice eating the tops off the plants. Over here are some that managed to survive, so I've potted up these cosmos ready to go out middle of May, when most of the fear of frost has gone. Now, if you haven't got a propagator, or you have got a propagator and you want to get round the mouse problem, you have two options. One, you can get a mouse trap or some poison to put down, or if you're somebody who doesn't like to do anything like that, then don't worry about it, because here all you need to do is get some glass. Put the glass over the top of your pot, either in the greenhouse or in the propagator, and an easy way of doing that is to, if you haven't got any, or if you have got some, just use, they don't have to be square or anything, just use a piece of glass that's big enough to cover the rim of the pot so that the mice can't get in. If you can afford it, then it would be a good idea to go down to your local glass supplier and ask him to cut you some small pieces, square pieces of horticultural glass. Don't buy house glass, because that's more expensive. Horticultural glass is much thinner, and you'll find it's cheaper. And get him to cut you several pieces of 2x2, 3x3, 4x4 inches, and you'll find that that'll you can use that all the time, just to cover up once you've sown your seed and stuff. So that's just a nice tip. These are geranium cuttings from last September that I took, well, the end of September, and I've managed to keep them. You've got two options. You can grow geraniums inside the house if you want, if you haven't got a greenhouse and you want to be able to keep them from last year, because they are quite expensive to buy nowadays. Most garden plants are, especially summer bedding. Or you can buy a heater and heat the greenhouse, but this is very expensive. To heat a greenhouse this size will cost you probably a couple of £100 over the period of the winter, depending on how cold the winter is. Fortunately this year we had very little frost.